Well, the inception and idea for the AIDS Memorial Quilt really has its roots in the early years of HIV and AIDS. 30 years ago, this disease arrived, as it were. And 25 years ago, when the number of dead in just one small neighborhood, the Castro in San Francisco, reached 1,000, our founder had an idea, and he asked people to march with placards in their hands of the names of people who they had loved and lost. And when they got to the Federal Building at the end of this march, he taped these up the side of the building. And when he looked at it, he realized it looked like a quilt.
Well, I think the thing that makes the AIDS quilt so powerful is the fact that it has been created by thousands of people who are parts of communities that have been affected by HIV/AIDS, and it's their personal investment that makes the stories in the quilt so powerful to the public that then sees it on display.
As part of the Quilt 2012 digital experience project, we created 3 digital experiences. The first one we started on is an interactive table touch browser that allows people to search and browse digital images of every one of the 6,000 blocks or the 48,000 panels that make up the AIDS Memorial Quilt. The second experience that we developed specifically for this and that we brought to Washington is an interactive timeline of the 30 years of the history of the development of AIDS or the public recognition of AIDS and the 25-year history of the quilt. And the third digital experience is a distributed experience. It's here, but it's everywhere, and it's what we call a mobile web app.
Well, throughout the course of the history of the AIDS epidemic and the AIDS Memorial Quilt, this quilt has been on display in more than 25,000 locations, and more than 20 million people have experienced the quilt. The quilt is ever-changing, and that is both a wonderful thing as well as a burden, because it grows day by day by day. And so how do we gather this information, collect it, and preserve it, and make it accessible? The ever-changing nature of it is part of its beauty and part of its additional workload.
Yeah, I think it's the AIDS quilt is different from many of the traditional memorials here in Washington that you'll see as you walk around the National Mall, in that it is a living memorial. It is constantly being added to. It is not something that's static and seen in one place, but it moves to new audiences, and new audiences can interact with it in different kinds of ways. I think that more non-traditional memorials would be well received by the public. To see their response to the AIDS quilt over the course of 25 years tells you that there is a profound interaction with this type of expression.
Barbara J., Lester J., Raymond J., Sonia J.
But in the sense that the National Mall particularly is kind of a contested place with its meaning evolving over time, I think non-traditional memorials do very well in that space because they can invite various communities down to interact with them over time rather than setting up a permanent place. I think the AIDS quilt has really been a pioneer in the kind of interactive memorial that I think we'll see more of in the future. It really does invite community engagement, and it addresses important issues and motivates people to think about how these issues affect their lives, affect the broader culture in the country and throughout the world. So it's not just something that commemorates something from the past, but it commemorates something that people are living through now.